listen only mode.
Hello and welcome to Eating Healthy on a Budget. My name is Lori Benison and I am a certified wellness coach. Today we're going to be talking about eating healthy on a budget, but before we get started there, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping rules first. So everyone is in listen only mode. If you have any questions or you would like a copy of this presentation, you can email us at healthysteps@loveless.com. Some of you may notice a delay in the slides or scratchiness or static on the line. This is likely due to changing weather patterns and typically resolves itself quickly. However, if you do get disconnected, don't panic, just simply call back in. The presentation will last approximately 15 minutes. And after the presentation ends, you'll receive an evaluation survey. Your feedback is important to us, so please take time to complete. We'll use this information to make improvements to our programs. So what you'll learn. With a little planning and commitment to healthy eating, you and your family can enjoy satisfying, nutritious meals by keeping the grocery bill down. We'll be discussing this list of suggestions for eating healthy on a budget. So the big question, does it cost more to eat healthy? Some would say yes and some no. It also depends on where you live. If you live in a cold climate, fresh fruits and vegetables may be more expensive when they're out of season, but frozen or canned or even dried vegetables are always available. In many areas with moderate climates, fresh fruits and vegetables are available year-round and are not as expensive. Fortunately, healthy foods are most often foods that are close to their natural form, so a baked potato is cheaper than French fries. Beans, whole grain cereals and breads, corn, potatoes, lentils, oatmeal, peas, apples, and other fruits and vegetables are full of fiber, phytochemicals, and energy, and these foods are almost always less expensive than highly processed foods. One way to keep your grocery bill down is to shop on a full stomach. If you shop when you're hungry, you're more likely to make impulse buys, adding items to your cart that you don't need just because they look good. And if you're like me, those impulse buys usually aren't more fruits and vegetables. It's usually something like cookies, cakes, or candy. So take the time to have a snack before you go or a meal before you go grocery shopping. You're just much more likely to stick to your list. And cook at home. Another way to eat healthy on a budget is to eat at home rather than eating out. Preparing meals in your own kitchen is key to keeping tabs on nutrition and expense. And cooking from scratch lets you control what you put into whatever you're making, so you can control the amount of fat, calories, sodium, things like that. Plus, home-cooked meals generally are less expensive than restaurant meals or convenience foods like frozen entrees from the supermarket, and they taste better. So focus on fresh, natural foods rather than processed. Most times use a packaged product. You're paying for convenience. So eating out is okay once in a while, but it's not good for your health or your budget to do it every day. So cook at home and make extra. Some people like to cook 1 or 2 days of the week and then just eat leftovers the rest of the week. If you're not a big fan of leftovers, one idea is to put the leftovers in individual containers and make your own TV dinners for later so you can freeze them and you don't have to eat them in that same week. Another way that you can lose leftovers is just be creative. So think about different things that you can do. For example, with leftover chicken or turkey, you could make soup or chili, and then if you add an extra can of beans or a few potatoes, you can double the number of servings in a pot of stew. Another example is meatloaf. We can break up the meatloaf and add tomato sauce and make a spaghetti dinner for just pennies. Or you can make a meatloaf and cheese sandwich or even spicy tacos. What about leftover beans? How about tostados, bean burritos, Frito pies? With leftover veggies, you can add those to soups, stews, omelets, or even a stir fry. And rice can be added to ground turkey. Or you can add tomatoes, peppers, chili, or cheese and turn it into a casserole or a hearty meal. You get the idea. Just be creative if you don't like eating the same thing over and over. So buy in bulk. You can save money by purchasing items in larger quantities like brown rice, other grains, beans, or soup stock. And remember, when you buy them on sale, you can bring them home and put them into smaller containers. You might even want to consider investing in something like a Meal, which actually helps to keep food fresher longer. Another way to save money is to buy generic. In my opinion, generic brands taste just as good. And store brands are often produced by the same manufacturer and cost 50% less than the national brands. Where I shop, you can also buy organic items. Water, the nectar of a healthy lifestyle. The easiest way to reduce your grocery tab and simultaneously enjoy good health is to stop buying anything that isn't water. Don't pay for hydration. You'll be fine without milk, really. Your kids don't need juice, and nobody needs soda. Energy drinks, fizzy fillers, juice blends, all terrific ways to drain your bank account. And these corn syrup chemical mixtures are the ultimate ripoff. They cost manufacturers just pennies to produce, and gallon for gallon, they are more expensive than filling up your Suburban. Earlier, we mentioned buying less expensive cuts of meat. Less expensive cuts of meats are generally tougher, but you can actually tenderize them by cooking them in a slow cooker or marinating them. You can also save money on meat by purchasing like a whole chicken rather than pre-cut chicken breast or thighs. And you can even ask the butcher to cut it up for you. And of course, if finances are a concern, always look for sale items. Buy things that you can stock up on when they're on sale. Look for basic staples that you can keep in your pantry, like rice, noodles, broth, canned vegetables, things that you can use in a variety of meals. To throw something together quickly. Even fresh fruits and vegetables you can buy when they're on sale, and then they can be frozen. You can use them later in shakes and smoothies or omelets. You can also cut up fruits and vegetables and put them into individual baggies for lunch and snacks, and you're probably more likely to eat them if it's convenient for you to just grab and go. Try making a meatless stew by sauteing mushrooms, onions, garlic, celery, and carrots in olive oil, and then adding barley, vegetable broth, and brown rice and simmering until the barley is tender. For a nutritious and budget-friendly meal, you can serve that with a salad and some crunchy bread and have some fresh fruit for dessert. Try having meatless meals a couple of days a week, and know that things like mushrooms, barley, wheat berries, they have a rich, meaty flavor and texture, so you may not even miss not having meat. And keep the following in mind. Most foods in boxes are processed. Things like fruit roll-ups, Pop-Tarts, frozen pizzas, taquitos, this junk adds up. Worse, these foods are terrible for your health and leave you craving more junk instead of truly satisfying your body's needs. On your next trip, make it a goal to have a box-free grocery cart. Bottom line. The bottom line is that with planning and commitment, you can indeed eat healthy on a budget. The likely alternative to not eating healthy is the development of disease. So it boils down to spending the money on healthy foods now that can help prevent disease or spending it later on healthcare costs. So that concludes our presentation. However, Levels wants to make sure that members are knowledgeable about preventative screenings, recommendations for specific chronic illnesses, and general preventative activities. Information on this and the next slide is both for preventing health conditions and managing chronic conditions. Please take a moment to read the information on the screen. We encourage you to talk to your doctor about the preventative screenings in the left-hand column, as many of them are not one-size-fits-all. The tests for chronic diseases listed are part of the standard of care, but it's always a good idea to discuss these with your doctor as well. We'll stop for a moment to let you review the slide. So this slide continues with more chronic conditions and recommendations if you have these diagnoses. The right-hand column lists other preventative activities we suggest our members participate in to get and stay healthy. Please take a moment to review this slide. If you have questions about any of this information, please feel free to email us at healthysteps@loveless.com. And then finally, here are some complementary resources offered to Loveless Health Plan members. We offer telephone counseling for weight management, smoking cessation, online health tools, including a health risk assessment. You'll find that in your health center in the members-only section of the website. We also have a wellness discount program called Choose Healthy. And obviously, we also have these free webinars. You can look at previous webinars. They're stored on our website by topic. And to find these, you'll go to lovelesshealthplan.com. Click on the online member option, and then follow the login instruction to access these resources. Again, this concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for joining us. Our next webinar is going to be on March the 28th. Again, it will be at noon. The topic is an introduction to our Healthy Steps website. See you then. Thanks for coming.